Have you ever felt like you're spinning your wheels, working so hard, but never actually moving forward? What if I told you that staying stuck isn't just frustrating, but it's actually silently sabotaging your confidence, your energy, and your ability to grow? Well, let's change that starting today. Welcome to my Success Coach podcast. I'm your host, Brian Robinson. My mission is simple to help you gain clarity, to take focused action, and to grow both personally and professionally. And if you've ever felt stuck, frustrated, or unsure of your next step, this episode is for you. Together, we'll uncover the hidden cost of staying stuck and map out the first step to breaking free. This episode is for you if you feel overwhelmed by all the options in front of you, but you can't decide where to start, or if you constantly doubt yourself or wonder if you're making the right decisions. This episode is also for you if you feel like no matter how much effort you put in, you're still in the same place. If any of that resonates, stick with me because you're about to discover that it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter with clarity and focus. By the end of this episode, you'll understand the emotional toll of staying stuck. You'll have the tools to identify one negative habit keeping you trapped, and you will have the tools to take the first actual step towards breaking free so that you can finally regain confidence and momentum. Robert Collier said, "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out." This quote is such a powerful reminder. Feeling stuck isn't about a lack of capability. It's often about the lack of small, consistent actions in the right direction. Today, we'll uncover how you can identify and adjust those daily habits to create unstoppable momentum. So let's go ahead and move into point number one, the emotional cost of staying stuck. Let's start by identifying the emotional toll. When you're stuck, you often feel hopeless, frustrated, and sometimes even paralyzed by fear. These emotions don't just drain your energy, they also keep you from seeing solutions clearly. Instead of taking action, you're stuck in a loop of self-doubt and overwhelm. Staying stuck doesn't just drain your confidence, it makes you question your abilities and your worth. It's like being in a mental fog where every decision feels heavier, and it definitely feels heavier than they should. And that weight prevents you from moving forward. Over time, this can lead to burnout, even when you're not actively taking big actions, because carrying the emotional load of frustration is exhausting. So here's some actionable steps. Number one is take a moment to pause and name the emotion you feel most often when you're stuck. Whether it's fear, frustration, or self-doubt, take a moment and figure out what emotion are you feeling. Then, two, journal for 5 minutes on how that emotion is affecting your decisions and your confidence. Then, three, commit to one small action today. No matter how insignificant it feels, this small action can disrupt that emotional loop. So, here's some coaching questions or journaling prompts for you. What's the one thing that you're afraid might happen if you try and fail? Write it down and ask yourself, is this fear realistic or just a story I've been telling myself? So let's move on to point number two, how emotions keep you from taking action. Here's the truth. Emotions like fear and self-doubt are energy vampires. They not only drain your motivation, but also trick you into thinking, I'll start when I feel ready. But here's a spoiler alert. You'll never feel completely ready. Waiting for perfect conditions, it's like waiting for the bus in a town that doesn't have a bus stop. It's not coming. When emotions like fear or overwhelm dominate, they create a cycle of avoidance. You avoid taking action because you feel like you might fail. And because you have a fear of failure, it takes over you. And the more you avoid, the more your fear actually grows. It's like trying to climb a mountain while convincing yourself that the peak is impossible to reach. Your thoughts become the biggest obstacle, not the actual climb. So here's some actionable steps to help you with this. One is set a timer for 10 minutes and take one messy, imperfect action toward a goal. Even if it's something small like making a phone call or brainstorming ideas. Then two, replace the phrase, I'll start when I feel ready with I'll start now and I'll adjust as I go. And here's the coaching question or journaling prompt for you. What's one small, imperfect step that you can take today to move forward, even if it's just 1% progress? So let's go ahead and move on to point number three. Identify the habit that keeps you stuck. Often, being stuck isn't just about big fears, it's reinforced by small habits. Maybe you procrastinate by scrolling social media instead of working on your goals. Maybe you tell yourself, I'll just watch one episode, and then 3 hours later, you're still on the couch. These habits might feel harmless, but they're quietly sabotaging your growth. The habits that hold us back are often so ingrained that we don't even notice them. It could be as subtle as always choosing comfort over a challenge or letting small distractions eat away at your most productive hours. These habits don't feel insignificant in the moment, but over weeks and months, they create a gap between where you are and where you want to be. So here's some actionable steps to help you with this. Pinpoint one habit that's not serving you. Replace that habit with a productive habit, even if it's tiny. For example, instead of scrolling your phone in the morning, spend 5 minutes planning your day. Then, number two is track your progress for 7 days. Celebrate each small win. And when you do that, this builds momentum. So here's a coaching question or journaling prompt to help you with this. What's one habit that you know is holding you back? And what can you replace it with starting tomorrow? So, as I was putting the notes together for this episode, I remembered a time early in my coaching career when I felt completely stuck. I had so many ideas, but no clear direction. I procrastinate by convincing myself that I was researching when really I was just avoiding the fear of taking one risk. One day, I wrote down the one thing I knew I needed to do: reach out to someone that I admired and ask for help. That single step led to a mentoring relationship that completely changed the trajectory of my coaching career. It wasn't about making a giant leap, it was about breaking the cycle of inaction. So here's what we covered today. One, staying stuck takes an emotional toll, draining your confidence and your energy. Two, emotions like fear and doubt keep you from taking action, but you can disrupt this cycle. And three, identifying and replacing one negative habit can be the first step towards breaking free. I want you to remember that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on one small step that you can take today to move forward. And if you're ready to go deeper, click the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one coaching session with me, or you can join my Unstoppable email community for insights and resources sent to your inbox, one email each week. Let's break free from being stuck together. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of my Success Coach podcast. I appreciate you taking the time to invest in yourself and making our world a better place. Until next time, keep finding your path.